Welcome to this edition of Word Search. Today we shall be looking at a story that best explains God's graciousness. It is the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, which I hope you are very familiar with. We all know from the beginning the fall of Adam and his wife. They were made in the image of God, and they were made to reflect who God is on the planet. But when they fell due to sin, they got born again from the very image of God in which they were created into the image of sin, death, judgment, and guilt. In a nutshell, that was the exact image of the devil. God, throughout the history of eternity, has been known by all creation to be holy, righteous, perfect, and will not tolerate sin in his presence. All the heavenly hosts, all the heavenly angels or holy angels, you would say, of God, will all be stunned when they saw the man whom God has just made fall and his image changed. The devil would just be on the other side, laughing and smiling and saying, we're going to see what God is going to do this time, because we know he doesn't tolerate sin. We're going to see if he's going to judge the man who just fell. But God is going to do something that has never been seen by any spirit being or any entity created in that time of eternity. They only knew God to be a glorious and a holy and a righteous God. Never has tolerated sin. But God is going to pick an animal in heaven. This name or the name of the animal wasn't given to us. God is going to sacrifice this animal by himself. We'll take the skins of this animal and the blood of this animal, and is going to do something glorious that has not been done before. God cannot walk in sin, that is right. So I guess the devil is going to be on one side with the fallen angels saying, we're going to see how God is going to pull this one through this time. Well, God will just, if you would with me, allow the blood of the animal which he sacrificed in heaven to be like a carpet for him into the Garden of Eden. He is going to walk on this blood. By the way, the skin and the blood of this animal was going to represent the righteousness and the holiness and the glory of God. So this would stun the devil and all the angels also in heaven, who then will be watching. They will see God walk on this blood into the Garden of Eden. God being that so high in glory, being so great, being so mighty, he is able to do everything that no entity else can do. He would create this man in the same likeness. But the man is fallen. He's lost his former ability, his nature, who he used to be. He can no longer keep anything that God would give to him after the fall. He simply become the nature of the devil. God will come down with this precious gift of the skins and the blood of the animal. As God gets to this man, God knows clearly what he's about to do has not been done before. It's going to take this man extra miraculous power to be able to hold on to what God is going to do for the next second without the help of God. But God knows the man is going to mess up again. But what is amazing here is coming down to the level of the man, to coming down to the level of a mortal man, a man who is standing in nakedness, in shame, and in disgrace, and in judgment, and in guilt. Doesn't know what to do, saying he's come to an end in his life. He doesn't know what is going to happen next. God will stoop very low in the presence of heaven, in the presence of heaven, and will wrap this skin on the man and with the blood, thereby taking the picture of the man who sees himself within his fallen nature, rather looking on something new that has been wrapped around him, symbolical of the revelation of the graciousness of God to him. The man had only to receive what was being wrapped around him and the meaning of it. Now listen carefully. When the man will be wrapped around with that glory, with that skin, with the blood, that man's mentality, his everything he knew or had about God was instantly changed in a second. For the rest of his days, this man was going to walk in this skin and with this blood. God has nothing to do except that to keep following or being with this man, because he knows the next second after wrapping it around him and leaving the man on his own, he is going to mess it up. God will not give up. He will stand with him to help him through it all. It amazes me that how the devil would think the man is going to remain just like him. But what God just did, that act of the graciousness of God, would forever separate the man from the devil, making the man walking in the graciousness of God whilst he was still sinning, yet the devil couldn't do that. Today, you have heard the story or have got a picture of what the graciousness of God means. I would leave with you a nugget of grace. Grace for salvation. To receive the grace of God for salvation, you only need to be born of a seed of a man and be alive on this planet. God bless you.